Hi, I'm Frank. Today I'll walk you through the TryHackMe Lo-Fi room. It includes a local file inclusion vulnerability. I'll explain it to you step by step. Okay, we are in the attack box. First thing we'll do is open Firefox. Start Firefox because we'll open a web page or a website. Now, starting Firefox might take a moment or it might be faster depending on your machine. Once the attack box has started, the hacker's computer will scroll down and start our actually target machine. So you'll see here a button, Start Machine, that will start the web page for the website, the machine that has the website. So click Start. It will take a moment and you'll see the target address appear in just a second or so. Once it's started, you'll see this address here. It will be different on your computer. It's a dynamic address. This is the address of the target. So we copy this and then we visit the web page. So that's http:// from the internet, followed by the address. So in this case, 10.10.84.82. Now sometimes you might have some issue with copy paste. So what you can do is here, click on this little button, then the clipboard, paste it in there, and then you can paste it up here. Or alternatively, you can simply type it manually, of course. As you press enter, we'll visit the target web page. So it seems just a web page where you can listen music. So you can select different pages, different YouTube pages, and they then show up. If you click on the links on this web page, you'll see it adds the page name at the end of the link. So in this case, it's relax.php, which is a file. If we change it to another, for example, sleep, you'll see it changes to sleep.php. So it's referencing different files. You can click through these files and you'll see this file name changes. Now, because it's a file, we might be able to browse files in this computer. So now it's linking to files, but for example, we could try changing this into something else. Let's say we'll try example.php, and in this case it tells us, okay, this file doesn't exist. So we can actually find out which files exist on this computer. But simply try different names here. For example, now we tried example, let's say secrets.php or secrets.txt. We can try accessing different files because we can change this page name and you'll see that it then tries to open. But in this case, it all tries to do it in the same folder. So if we have a page, maybe the flag is simply flag.txt. So we could try to access flag.txt. And in this case, there's no flag.txt. So we might need to look elsewhere. So where can we look next? So we can check if a file exists simply by changing the file name. For example, we can say game.php, and that seems to exist. If we try another, like youtube.php, you see it doesn't exist. So that's because this checks if the file exists, and then it shows you that file if it does, or this error if it doesn't. Now, how can we get the flag? Because we can only look in the current directory. So what we are doing, for example, if we have this on the local computer, we have this website folder, and we can see if files exist or don't exist. So if this was the website, we would be able to see, does admin exist, does database exist, and we could manually check if a file exists or not. But it might be that the flag we are looking for is not inside this folder. Like in this case, there's no flag in here. We would have to navigate to a higher directory to find a flag. We have to go to the parent folder. See, we are in root website in this example. If we go one higher, we are in root. You'll see there's no flag here, so we might need to go a level even higher. Now, in the command line, you can do that in the command line. So let's say this is the folder where we have the files. We can go up a directory by typing .. So we can do cd, change directory, .. And then we are up a directory. Well, if you'll notice now we are in /root. And if we do it again, and then check again, we are now in the / directory. We can do the same thing here. Let's say .. and you'll see it goes up a directory. Now, you can do that multiple times. For example, dot dot slash, dot dot slash, dot dot slash. And we go all the way to the slash folder, the highest parent. So by using this dot dot slash trick, you can navigate to another folder. And that's exactly the exploit or the vulnerability that we're going to use. So we can refer to any file we want to check if it exists. So we can refer to any file we want. This can be the relax.php, which we are not so interested in. We're looking for the flag. So we might say flag.txt. In this case, we found flag.txt is not in the same folder. You might simply try to look one level higher. So remember the dot dot slash trick, dot dot slash, and it tells us doesn't exist. So let's try even one level higher. We just repeat the trick, dot dot slash, and still haven't found it. So let's just keep repeating. Don't worry, it might be in many subdirectories. And in this case, we found the flag right here. So we looked 3 levels higher. So now we open flag.txt, which is probably on the slash directory, the highest directory on a Linux system. Now, instead of flag.txt, we might also view at other files. For example, any Linux system, it has the folder etc passwords that contains a list of the usernames. So now we know all the usernames on this computer. And likewise, you might also try other files, etc shadow, that stores the actual passwords. And in this case, that one cannot be accessed. So we have basic access into the Linux system. We can read files. And we found that the flag.txt file, it is stored in the global directory. In the root directory, we found flag.txt by simply repeating the trick, dot dot slash, dot dot slash, dot dot slash. So that's 3 directories higher. Now you might wonder why 3 times this dot dot slash. It actually has a very simple reason. Websites on the Linux systems are often stored in the folder var www/html. That's often where websites are stored. So on this attack box, on the default attack box, if we list the files, you'll see here index.html, that's a web page file. And to see anything on the root level, that's 3 levels higher. That's out of the HTML, out of the www directory, and out of the var folder. Now it can be that it's more than 3 that you have to navigate up. Sometimes on web pages, because it might be that they create a folder also for the web page or a folder inside that. But basically, if for example we try ls dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot slash, so that's 3 levels up, we can then see files in the system, and in this case we have flag.txt on our local attack box. So that's why you have 3 levels up. So this is not like some randomness, it's simply relative to where you are right now. So in this case, if we are in var www.html or something similar, and that's why we navigate 3 directories up and then find flag.txt. So in this case, it's the same 3 up, and then we have flag.txt. It's simply because it's relative to where you are right now. So probably in this web page, they're also in var www.html.